Hey everybody, this is Chav with Nobody Else's Auto. It is Sunday evening, time for Sunday night live chat. We'll give everybody a few seconds here to jump on, and we'll be going live here in about 20 or 30 seconds. We'll give everybody just a break to get a few people on and get rolling here soon. Okay, we got a few people jumping on with us. It is Sunday evening, 7 o'clock. If you're watching this at a different time other than Sunday evening at 7 o'clock Central Time, it is pre-recorded. It is being recorded live at 7. So any comments after that, obviously I won't be addressing. Yes, Terry, I am getting comments on Facebook. Thanks for checking. We've got Texas on Facebook. So we've got comments working on Facebook, and hopefully YouTube's going to hang in there with us too. So anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for coming back and hanging out with me tonight. I'm having fun. I hope you guys are having fun. I see people jumping back on, so that's a good sign that you're coming back. So, as always, if you got any questions, comments, throw them up there, ideas, just let me know, and we can sure talk about it. So, don't have a real exciting episode for tonight. Kind of a slow, boring week for me. It rained a good chunk of the week, so that kind of shut down a lot of what I was trying to do. Okay, we've got YouTube on. We've got Louisiana on YouTube. We got our friends Rico and Jess on. Great. Thanks for being here, everybody. So we've got comments working on both platforms. We are live and going, so we'll keep our fingers crossed that technology hangs in there with us. So, but anyway, it rained first part of the week. It poured. Everything was drenched. It started drying out Wednesday, and was hoping to get some things done, and then it rained again Wednesday night. So it's just about dried back out again for the second time this week. So obviously that slows me down dramatically as to what I can and cannot get done, especially when it comes to moving cars around the yard, going and picking cars up, things like that. So that the moisture and the rain kind of screwed up my week on that stuff. But that's okay. We're here. We'll talk about some other stuff and see what else everybody else has going on. So one thing I am working on, have been working on, I'm getting the my notes put together from Meek and Indy for Old Cars Weekly. Since I was there, they asked me to take some pictures and try to put some notes together. So I'm working on a project for them. And I got our friend Chris back on YouTube. Thanks for being here, Chris. So I'm working on trying to get that stuff put together, and hopefully I can put a pretty good piece together for them and make their lives a little easier, and they don't have to do a ton of work trying to clean up my mess of what I send in as far as what I write and the pictures I took and the captions I write for those pictures. So hopefully that all works out well. Got started on that, got a lot of text put together, started sorting through my pictures, and working on getting that done for those guys. So anyway, if you have not checked out Old Cars Weekly lately, by all means, absolutely do it. I know I've talked about this in the past. It's been a little while, but Old Cars Weekly is probably the most diverse car publication out there today. You know, they'll have stuff from the 20s and 30s all the way up to stuff from the 80s. It's not necessarily weekly. I think they do like 46 or 48 issues a year, so there's a couple weeks that it skips. But overall, like I said, it's a publication that tries to catch everybody. It's, you know, they'll have newer stuff, older stuff. There's always something for everybody in there. Looking at the new issue today, and they've got a series that's been going on. Every now and then they'll have an article that the guy who is restoring a car that is called the XM Turnpike Cruiser was a 1956 Mercury show car that was a one-off hand-built car for, you know, new car displays. And the restoration on that is just fascinating because obviously there is nothing that you can go buy off the shelf for it because it was all a handmade show car. And the what this guy's going through to do this is pretty amazing. You know, I read the article today and the new issue, and it's kind of like, you know, the hood was obviously a one-off piece. It was unlike any other Mercury hood, so he just had to make one. Same with the trunk lid. The trunk lid he had, but it was so rusted out, he had to build one from scratch. So pretty interesting to see what's going on with that. And like I said, they'll have cars from the 70s and 80s, and they'll have cars from the 30s. They cover a little bit of everything, which makes it really nice. So anyway, that's what I've been reading, and that's what I really like. Obviously, I didn't have a lot going on this week, so I don't have a lot to talk about. I don't have any new inventory because I didn't pick up any cars. So I got to thinking, what am I going to talk about on tonight's show? Well, I knew this was going to happen. I knew at some point there was going to be some times come up where I had to come up with some topics to discuss that, because I didn't have anything new or exciting that happened this week. So while I was working on some things with going through my indie stuff and checking out some of the things that we bought and doing some research on some of it. And what I come up with was I was going through some of the checks that we bought. I've showed you some of the checks. Well, there was one time in the auction when we were we had a whole group there. One of my buddies was with me. There was a GSX coming up that he wanted to bid on. So we had to run over to the car auction because the memorabilia auction is going on at the same time as the car auction. So him and I had to run over to the car auction, and we actually left my daughter and his daughter at the memorabilia auction and said, if something cool pops up, looks like it's a good deal, go ahead and snag it. So we ran over to watch the GSX, and actually he did get the GSX bought too, so that was a good thing. And when I got back, guys, my daughter, she bought anything. She said she bought a couple more of the canceled checks from Shelby American. So like, oh, that's cool. And the names kind of sounded familiar to me, but not real, not like Ken Miles' name after watching the movie. And so we've got, so she bought these checks. Well, I got them out last night, started looking up the names and did a little research on them. And it was kind of fascinating what I found. It was pretty neat, actually. The two checks that she bought while I wasn't even there were actually Shelby team drivers, checks to some of the Shelby team drivers. So the first one that I looked up was a guy by the name of Bob Holbert. We'll hold it up here and see if you guys can all see that. And I did a little research on this guy, and it was pretty fascinating. The guy was actually one of the very first Porsche dealers in the United States, started back in around 54 with Porsche, and actually was raced Porsches and was heavily involved in that end of things. And then he came on as a team driver with Shelby in the early 60s and actually raced several of the Daytona Coupes, along with Bob Bondurant and Ken Miles and a lot of those very well-known drivers. They were all Shelby team drivers. In fact, they won Sebring in '64, I believe, with one of the Daytona Coupes. So it was really kind of interesting to see that. Got a few more people popping on Facebook. We got Walter on, who is obviously sweltering in Nevada at 110 degrees. Got New York on with us on Facebook. Thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate it. 73 Buick driver's side mirror. I think you left me a message on that, Galvin. I looked this weekend. I did not have anything. I couldn't find anything. So I did not have anything on that mirror, but I did get your message, and I did look this weekend. So that was very fascinating when to read that. Like I said, not a Ken Miles or a Bob Bondurant or anything like that name, but very interesting when I looked it up and did a little research on it as to what was tied to that check, that guy. And so I'm sure he endorsed the back of it, so it has his signature on it. So just kind of a cool little piece of history. That guy was one Sebring in a Daytona Coupe, one of the 6 Daytona Coupes. And he raced for a few more years after that, but a couple years later, his co-driver was actually killed in a racing accident, and he hung it up after that. So, just bought a little piece of paper, bought a canceled check at the auction because it was a Shelby American piece, and stumbled onto kind of a really neat little piece of history that wasn't even really aware of. And then, of course, when I'm studying on that and reading on that, we've got our buddy Bill Twitchell on. Hey, Bill, glad you're here. Then you start studying the Daytona Coupes. And I learned a lot about the Daytona Coupes. The first Daytona Coupe was the only one actually built in America. The other 5 cars were bodied over in Europe. The chassis and drivetrains were done here, but the cars were bodied in Europe. So really very interesting story and a lot to go with it. So there again, just from looking up a name on this check that we got at the auction, and I learned a ton of cool history. So, like I said, the Shelby Daytona Coupes, I think there were only 6 of them made. They're, obviously not something you see every day. They've got an excellent racing history. So, really kind of neat. Really kind of excited to learn about that. The other check that she bought while I wasn't there was this one. Once again, a Shelby American check. The name on this check was Joe Slesser. So I looked that name up. There again, kind of a name I thought I'd heard somewhere. Maybe had read it somewhere. Maybe had heard it mentioned somewhere, but didn't really know a lot about it. So I went ahead and punched that in, and it popped up. He actually popped up on Wikipedia with, once again, a very lengthy racing history, and was in a very interesting racing history. And he was actually also killed in a racing accident in 1968 in the French Grand Prix. But his ties to Ford and Shelby, was in '67, he was a Ford France factory driver. So that's where he had ties to it. And he actually, not only did he run, a lot of road race stuff in Europe, he also actually finished 13th in the 1964 Daytona 500 running NASCAR, also in a Ford. Now we got Kansas on YouTube, so somebody somewhat local to me on. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. So really, really interesting. That he raced in Le Mans. He raced with multiple different well-known companies. McLaren's, and actually the accident that took his life was in a Honda when he went to a factory Honda team. So, there again, it's a piece of paper, it's a canceled check, but there's a lot of history with it. Just from what it says right there. One, it's obviously the Shelby American, but having the name and then doing the research on the name and tying it together. And that's what this whole hobby is about. That's why we do it. That's why we like it. That's why I hope that's why we're here. Omaha's on. Hey, Omaha. Walter says they're making Daytona Coupe replicas in South Africa. That's probably right. I bet those are probably, I'm guessing, the backdraft cars, Walter, because I know the backdraft is making the Cobras. So I bet that backdraft is also making the Daytona Coupes, and they're out of South Africa. And those cars are actually assembled cars. They come in without drivetrains, but they are a fully assembled body and rolling chassis, and then you put your drivetrain in them, if I remember correctly. So if that's right, Walter, just let me know. But I bet that's probably a backdraft deal, but that's probably right. So, but like I said, it was a couple little pieces of paper that ended up getting bought. Did a little research on them, and I learned a ton of history. And that's what's cool, and that's why we do this. That's what's fun about it, and that's why we're all here. That's the whole purpose of this. That's why we like cars. We like the stories. We like the history. And it's amazing what just doing a couple of little, Google searches and tying some things together with some pieces of memorabilia that we picked up. That's what makes it fun, at least for me. And I hope that's why you guys are here, because it's fun. And that's what, that's why I hope you guys are hanging out with me. I know, I think things are rolling well. I know our numbers have been down, but I know it's summertime and a lot of people have a lot of things going on. So, so far, I think everybody's still having fun, and it's what we're trying to do, at least. But like I said, kind of a slow week for me. But when I found this, when I Googled the names of these checks, and I found all the cool history and the cool stories with them, and and what I learned about it, I wanted to share that with you. I thought it was a good topic, something different to discuss tonight, since I didn't really have anything else exciting going on this week, other than a lot of rain. So hopefully next week will be a little more interesting. I'll get some more inventory picked up. We'll have some more things going on. Steve says, can never learn enough about old cars. Well, that's what we're here for, and that's why we do it. That's what's fun about it: the discovery, the history, and tying things together and learning about them. That's why the videos that I did on the John Asphaugh cars while we were in Indy with my friend Jim Wicks, I loved doing those videos. And I know we've talked about them before. If you guys haven't seen those videos, by all means, go check those out. Had a blast doing them. But the stories that Jim could tell us about those cars from his firsthand experience and his firsthand involvement with those cars was amazing. And that's what's great about it. Just learn the stories, learn the history. So the fact that he spent some time with me and allowed us to put those together for you guys to watch, I hope you got a chance to do it. Jess got her can from last week. Glad you got it. Glad you enjoyed it. Ken, the other day we were talking and he dropped the call. That's fine, Ken. Just give me a call back whenever you get a minute. And so if we got cut off on that one, so no big deal there. Just give me a shout back whenever you get a minute, and we'll go from there. Trivia. We got to do trivia yet tonight. We are not going to miss trivia. So I hope you guys are waiting for trivia. Okay. If you caught Toy Tuesday last week, I was going through some more of my Indy Meekum stuff. This is an easy one if you watch Toy Tuesday. But I've got a related type can to give away tonight, so I'm going to use it, even though it's kind of an easy one for anybody that watched Toy Tuesday. But we picked up a couple pieces at Indy. One being a first aid kit. One being a comment card box. What was the company that those were related to? So if you got that answer, throw it up there. I've got a can here waiting for you. Lee, would love to hear the story on my tow truck. Lee, we definitely need to get to that. I can give you a kind of a quick rundown on it. It won't mean much without it, but it's a 1950 Chevy that was a factory dealer wrecker. So it's kind of a neat piece. They just basically took a 3/4 ton pickup and they made a wrecker out of it. So I need to get it out. It was running and driving. I think the fuel pump is out of it. Yeah, Texaco. That's right, Jess. Texaco is the company. So Jess is our winner. Now I'm going to show you why I didn't show. I usually show you the can ahead of time. I'll show you why I didn't, because I'm going to send you a Texaco can. So I didn't want to give it away and make it too easy by actually showing you the brand before I did it. But so yeah, they were Texaco pieces, a Texaco first aid kit, and a Texaco comment card box. So we'll get that off to you, Jess. Thanks for playing, everybody. This tow truck that I've got, I've got a very long history with that truck, believe it or not. I am 45 years old, and I have got a history with that truck for over 30 of them. So yeah, 2-time winner on a roll. So that's right, everybody. Jump in. You got to be quicker than Jess next time. So let's see if anybody can beat her next week. But it is a really great truck. It actually does say Chevrolet on the doors, since it was a Chevrolet wrecker. So I do need to get that out, Lee. That's one I've been wanting to do. It's a really cool piece. Like I said, it was running and driving, but it won't fire now. I put fuel to it, and it'll fire right up. So I think the fuel pump went out just from sitting for about 6 months. I've got a new fuel pump for it. It's just a matter of the time to get back on it and get her going. So I will get that out. I can't tell you it's going to be today or tomorrow, but we will get to that. It is a super cool piece. It is obviously in the good building. Anybody that saw that video on the gas pumps could see the tow truck in the background. And it's not the prettiest. It doesn't have shiny paint. It's got some dings and dents in it. It's got some scratches in it. The paint's faded. It's been a lot of hot days out in the Kansas sun, and it's sat outside a lot of cold Kansas winter nights. So but it's a cool piece. Like I said, it's in the good building with my good cars, and it's not the fanciest or the prettiest, but I think she deserves her spot there. She's worked hard for a lot of years, and I think she deserves to be in there. So we'll get to that. I hope you guys agree with me when you see the video and when we talk about it. But I'll try to get on that sometime here in the near future, and so we can get to it. But like I said, it's honest, it's real. The dings are not and dents are honest. She got them by working, and I don't want to do anything to her other than get it running and driving and roadworthy. But I think she deserves to be in the good building with a good car. She worked hard for a lot of years, and I think she deserves a rest in a good, comfortable home. So we'll get to that, Lee. Thanks for bringing it up. I do want to do that. I got some comments on Facebook. The coupes were marked Peter Brock and made by Super. Yeah, right. Peter Brock, I think, designed those, Walter, if I remember right from what I read. And Peter Brock tag made by Super Performance. Okay. See, callback on 66 F250 custom. Depends on what you called about. I've got 1 or 2 notes on some 61 to 66 Ford pickup parts, but that's all I've got hanging right now. So if I didn't get your message or something, you might need to call me back on that. I think I've got 1 note on them on vent windows or something that I haven't called back yet. But if that's not you, might give me a call tomorrow and I'll get you on my list. so we can get to that. Anyway, F&E Collector Auto Auction, still working on that. Have not had much time to deal with that. I know you guys have had some questions about it. I appreciate the calls on that. If you do have more questions about it, don't hesitate to give me a shout. I started calling people finally on Friday. I finally got caught up from being back or being gone. I got caught up from being gone to Indy middle of this week, and I started calling guys Friday that I have on my potential consigner list. So hopefully going to start shaking some things loose on that here within the next week. Plus, we're getting some calls on some stuff that guys are getting cleaned up and getting pictures ready of. So I will get on that. Hopefully we'll have some more cars listed on there this week. I did not get to the hotel this week, or one of the hotels, the one we usually start with. Going to try to get that done this week. So we'll hopefully have some information on hotel rates next Sunday for any of you guys that want to come out for the auction. So anyway, I'm doing too much talking, and you guys are still hanging in there with me listening. So that's great. As always, if you've got friends that want to join us, by all means, let them know. Tell them to jump on with us on Sunday night at 7 o'clock. If you've got comments, topics, things to talk about, jump on with us live at 7, and we can sure talk about it. And this week, what do we got coming up on Nobody's Show? Probably, I'll definitely do another one from the new yard, and I may do 2 from the new yard. I need to get a few things done over there, and I need to start moving some cars out of there. We'll definitely do another Pioneer Village video. I don't remember what's coming up on that one this time. I hope you guys caught the Pioneer Village video that I posted last Friday. Talk about a ton of stuff in one room. Real quick, if you did not catch the video on Pioneer Village that I posted Friday night, started off with an AMFA car because we had to have a car in it, but that was actually the only car in that one. In the one room in this one part of the museum, we started with an AMFA car, and there was a yacht, and there were cable cars, and there were outboard motors, and there were airplane propellers and airplane engines and airplanes hanging from the ceilings, and fire trucks and guns, a whole cabinet of firearms. That was all in one room. So really cool video, really wide variety of cool stuff to look at. So if you did not catch that Friday night, please go back and check that one out too. Any Nashes in the new yard? I think there's some in there, Jess. I think there is a few Nashes in there. I don't remember what they all were, but yeah, there are a few in there. But I don't think the one that you want's in there, because I know we've talked about that before. So I don't think there was one of those. So anyway, that's really about all I had for tonight. Like I said, I didn't have a ton of new information because I couldn't do a lot this week. But as always, thanks for stopping by, and invite your friends to come hang out with us next week. Have them jump on with us and jump into the chat. Share the videos with your friends. Encourage them to come hang out with us. The more of us we have, the funner it's going to be. And we still got a few comments popping up. If you do have some more comments, go ahead and throw them up there. We'll try to get to them here real quick before we wrap up. But like I said, that's what I've got. As always, thanks for being here. I super appreciate everybody coming by and hanging out with us. Super happy that you guys do. 62 C10 hubcaps. I don't remember, Rich. You'd have to get with me next week. I don't think I've got any of the ones that match your truck, but I'll have to double check and see. So that I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, that's what I've got. Stay tuned this week. Some more stuff from the new yard, plus the the Pioneer Village video we've got coming up. Definitely want to try to get some cars. I have to try to get some cars picked up this week if the weather cooperates with me, and see if I can get something done there. And I got to keep moving forward. With all that rain, it kind of slowed me up. I did have a ton of parts to ship, so at least I was able to stay up with everybody's shipments, except for a couple of things that I couldn't get to because it was too soft to get the loader over there. So I got a couple more I got to finish up tomorrow, but shouldn't be a big deal. 34 Chevy car stuff, John? No, I do not have any 34 Chevy cars at all right now. So Anyway, as always, thanks for being here, everybody. I really appreciate you taking some time out of your evening to come hang out with me. Enjoy doing them. I still can't believe how lucky I am that you guys take time out of your day to hang out with me and jump on. So they're a lot of fun. And thanks, Rico. I appreciate that. That's a nice comment. It is take some time to do the videos, but they're fun. If they weren't fun, if you guys weren't here doing them with me and having fun and commenting and interacting, they wouldn't be fun. So you guys make it fun. You guys are what makes the video. Me sitting here staring into talking into a computer would be pretty boring, and they'd probably commit me. But of course, there's some people who probably want to commit me anyway. That's okay. So thanks for being here. I really appreciate you guys swinging by, taking some time out of your day. Looks like we're caught up on comments. If you have any questions or comments after the fact, let me know. We got Danny on. He's got 500 cars too. So it sounds like Danny's got quite a collection. We got another one on YouTube. Oh, well, wow. Thanks, Mike. I didn't expect that. Mike on YouTube, he's thanking me. I mean, he appreciates what we're doing here. And Mike, that means a lot. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's nice. I'm glad that it makes me feel good, but I do appreciate that. So anyway, kind of caught me off guard with that one. So we'll go ahead and wrap up. I'm starting to ramble here again, and I don't want to bore you guys to death. So thanks for being here. Stay tuned for the videos coming up this week. As always, if you've got any questions, just give me a shout. The numbers are on the pages. Any specific questions about vehicles or parts, by all means, give me a call. Let me know what you're working on, what your project is, where you're going with it. I'll see if I've got anything that can help you out. And we will see you soon. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for taking some time out of your evening to hang out with me. And thanks for watching. See you next week.